So in a few moments, we should be live. It says we're live, so we should be live on Facebook as well. Let's see. All right, while we do this, I'm going to actually put my phone on the ring light. All right, so this is Chef Candler. Hey everyone, my name is Cristha Edwards. I work in the Office of Student Life, and here today we have with us Cameron Garrett, who also works in the Office of Student Life, and we're doing our first Chef Candler segment. What that means is we're both going to have a little over 20 minutes to make a dish. You guys saw us post our videos yesterday about what we're making, so you're just gonna make it along with us. You're gonna have some conversation, and hopefully it's just gonna be a fun time. All right, Cameron, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, so you can start. I'm going to get up and mount this phone. We're live on Instagram and his Instagram, so I'm going to mount this phone, and you could start us off with what we're doing first.
Certainly. Okay, so if you've seen my video, then you know that I'm going to be making just a pretty basic brunch. And here's the deal. Here's the deal with the brunch. The brunch is simple, and it's elegant in its simplicity. Is making eggs easy? The answer is yes. But is making eggs well easy? The answer is no. And I humbly suggest that I am very, very good at making a fried egg, a very good fried egg, like perfect runniness of yolk. So that's what we're going to be going with. We're going to be making a little brunch item. A bagel with some avocado on it, simple. Salt and pepper on top of the avocado. We got a fried egg on top of that. And we got some mixed greens to go along with it. So hey, why don't we just go ahead and get into it? Shall we?
Yes, that would be great. So Cameron, I said that would be great. So Cameron's about to get started. On my end, we're making garlic and herb salmon and roasted vegetables. So what I went ahead and did off camera, I'm going to show you guys. On a plate, the roasted vegetables, I just picked my two favorites. We have, can you see it? I think you can see it. We have asparagus and some bell pepper. So that's going to go in a Pyrex dish pretty soon. So if you're cooking along with me, you're going to want to go ahead and cut up some green onions and regular onions, green onions, white onions, and garlic. I'm going to show you guys that in a moment. And I'm going to blend it to make a garlic paste. Go ahead, Cameron. Your turn again.
All right. So the first thing that I'm going to do is put my everything bagel, which is what this is, into the toaster. And we're going to set my specific toaster at the highest level it can go to. I don't like a burnt bagel, but I do like a well-done bagel. So this is up to you. If you're following along and you're doing this with me, how long you keep your bagel in is up to your discretion, okay? So that's move number one. Move number two is just heat up a nice drizzle of olive oil in your pan, your nonstick pan preferably. Nonstick is essential for making fried eggs because you got to flip it easy. You know, that's really pivotal. Crystal, what are you doing over there?
So right now I just plugged in the blender. We're going to make the paste that goes on top of the salmon. So, also Quentin just let us know for you to go live on Instagram, you just need to send a request. So click on the Instagram live feed and then click request and I can add you. So while he is doing that, this is a huge blender. We used to have a smaller one, but I don't think it works anymore. So in this white bowl, we have some garlic, green onions, and white onions. I'm going to take that. Instagram, you can see the same thing. We have green onions, garlic, and white onions. And I'm going to put this in a blender and make a paste. And this is what is going to go on top of your salmon. Right now, Cameron is preparing to add to Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't see him yet. I see that you're on it, but I still don't know why you're not.
Do you know how I send a request to do that?
Usually it's just supposed to pop up, I believe.
Okay.
I believe. So on my end, I've just put everything in a blender, and I'm just going to add a small bit of water, just a little bit to help it mix. I'm going to mute while I blend because my blender is pretty loud.
Krista, the request to join isn't intuitive. It's like not on the video.
Okay, I'm going to try to send you another invite. Hey, everybody on Instagram. We're also live on Facebook Live in our OSL group. Quentin said there should be a button for you to request. He's typing this on the Instagram Live.
Okay. Here's the deal, Quentin. I've got my olive oil on right now, right? And it's almost like perfect heat. So I'm gonna have to potentially abandon this if I can't find it.
My blender won't turn on. I'm so serious. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what I just did? I was plugging in the wrong thing this whole time. Whew, funny. Okay. So on my end, I'm blending this, but then I'm also going to go ahead and put the rice in the rice cooker now so that it'll be done by the time we're done. There are 4 comments. What are we cooking today? Someone said, hi, Cameron.
Hey, how's it going, friend?
Someone said, woo, Krista. Whoever said that, hey, thanks. So.
Chris, I can't find the request to join.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You did try. You really tried.
I did try.
You really tried.
But folks can see me on Facebook, right?
Yes, they can.
Okay. All right.
So, this is a little more than a cup. So right now, for the rice, I have 1 cup of rice. And then I'm doing that. You double your rice to water. So 2 cups of water. And then I'm about to put this in the rice cooker. I usually put a little bit of butter. And, oh, wow, that was actually a perfect bottle of water. I don't know why that was so great to me. Okay, so I did say in the live that you should have a stick of butter. So if you have a stick of butter, you're going to use your first bit and you're going to put it with your rice. If you don't have a rice cooker, of course, you can make rice on the stove. A rice cooker is just easier for me, at least now. Cameron, what are you doing over there?
I just cracked my eggs. So you can see we've got a good consistency already going.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And what we're gonna do now is just add a little bit of just a hint of salt and pepper to it. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And of course I've got my bougie sea salt that I advertised.
So why is the sea salt bougie?
It's like an expensive brand of sea salt. It's supposed to be healthier for you, but I don't know how that is.
You're not doing a great job selling it right now.
It is. I do think that it's probably, no, I don't even believe this. I'm not sure if it is any tastier than regular sea salt. I've been sold on the brands.
I'm going to mute for a second because my blender is really loud.
Yep.
And then you can keep letting them know what you're doing.
Yep. So now we've got a little update on the eggs. We've got some salt and pepper in that. Yep. Our bagels are also done. And I would humbly suggest that these bagels are perfectly done. And that's hard to do. It's like cooking a steak right, you know?
A steak?
That's right. Uh-huh. That's exactly right. Cooking a steak just to where you want it. Now I'm going to show you these bagels and you're going to see what I mean. Look at this coloration. You know what I mean? Look at this coloration. That's like about as perfect as a bagel can be, in my humble opinion. You see the other one? We've got a little bit of discoloration on the bottom, and that's unfortunate. But I don't think all is lost with that one. Okay.
Cameron, you're really selling your dish here.
Hey, you know what? Wait till you see the finished product.
If you're speaking, I couldn't hear. Sorry, my Siri turns on sometimes and then it mutes whatever you were saying. Say it again.
Yeah, you're gonna see here soon enough that this dish is just, it's gonna be top notch, like Michelin stars, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
Are you doing dishes right now?
No, I'm boiling my Pyrex dish. I'm not doing dishes. Okay, so
I was gonna say points off.
Wow. So
Points
right
off
now,
for dishes.
someone said looks a little burnt to me, Cameron. Oh,
Okay,
thanks, Jill.
well,
if she's still on the live.
Is that who was that?
For some reason, it won't show me who. It just says Facebook.
Somebody said looks a little burnt.
Yeah. So whoever said that, could you
I
put
disagree.
who said it?
I disagree. Look again. Look at that.
It does look a tad burnt.
I think you're wrong. I think that's a matter of preference. I don't know about that one. All right. So now our eggs are, and this is like crucial. Okay. So I've got my nonstick pan. I've got my little rubber spoon thingy, right? And I like this because you can really like see the flexibility that I have in this. I can really get under the egg with it, right? And our eggs are entering prime time for flipping. And this is a high pressure situation. You don't get the egg right, you don't get it flipped. Let's imagine the yolk breaks. That would be devastating to me. I don't know how I would recover. So let's see. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Let's send up a prayer.
All right, so while he is doing that, if you're following along with me right now in a Pyrex dish, you will see we have the salmon. I washed it in fresh lemon juice, so please make sure that you rinse your protein in something. And then we have asparagus and bell peppers. And so right now I'm just going to, why does my earphones keep doing that? Okay, so right now I'm just going to make the paste that goes on top of the salmon. If you were watching yesterday's ingredient video, you know that there's a few different seasonings that has to go. The adobo is one of my favorites. So you're just, honestly, I just do sprinkles. I don't exactly measure how much I put of everything. You just want to make sure that it's coating your protein. Let me see. I'm actually going to try to move my laptop a bit closer, Cameron. You did it?
We did it. The pressure was on and we did it.
We did it, Joe. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
The eggs were flipped. No yolkage. No
Oh,
yolk
you guys can see
spillage.
my ring light now. Okay, so this is my Pyrex dish. I've just put the adobo. Now we're gonna put, I swear by garlic salt. I'm gonna be so honest. I make most things with garlic salt. So you're just gonna put a sprinkle of that. You're gonna sprinkle it also on the bell peppers, not so much on the asparagus. She has great judgment. I'll vouch for her. It does look a little over toasted. Ha! It did look a little over toasted. Okay. So now we have the 2 salts on there. I like to use coarse ground black pepper. It's just a bit stronger, and so when you're eating it, you can really taste that on there. All right, so I'm 2 minutes from putting this in the oven. How are you doing over there, Cameron?
This is also a pretty crucial movement. While I'm waiting for my fried eggs to be perfectly done, I'm putting the avocado on my bagel.
Okay.
Right? So I'm putting the avocado on my bagel. I'm using 1 whole entire avocado. You don't have to do that. You can use a half of an avocado. If you don't like avocado, then don't use an avocado. You know what I mean?
You don't like avocado.
Did you say you don't like avocados?
No, I said who doesn't like avocado.
That's a good question. That's a good question for Generation Z and millennials and zillennials. I think the vast majority of us quite enjoy avocado.
It's a great thing.
So now
Go ahead,
Here's what I'm
Cameron.
doing. I'm adding a bit of my sea salt in my bagel with avocado. I'm also going to add some more pepper to this. So we're salt baying this, right? A good healthy amount. We add some black pepper. Now, Cristha, this is the crucial part. Are you ready?
I'm ready for it.
Okay. The crucial bit, and again, this is to taste. This is sriracha. I'm gonna put a little bit of just a little drizzle of sriracha.
Okay.
On my bagel.
How spicy is sriracha?
So that's what we're looking like. That's what we're looking like right now.
Oh wow, that looks great.
Thanks. I've got my mixed greens. I'm gonna put the mixed greens down. And this is of course also optional. So we got some mixed greens on there. And guess what, Cristha?
What?
I'm done. You can't say that, huh?
I can't, but I told you before this that mine was going to take longer, so I don't feel bad. Deliciousness takes time. That's what it is. Quality does not come quickly.
Yeah, well, hey, check this out real quick, though.
I know you're going to have a comment. Go ahead.
Go check this out. We're talking about quality.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now I want you to, I'm gonna move my laptop back over here. Because we're done, you know. Look at this. Look at this. I want you to imagine.
Let me see it.
I want you to imagine that it is a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, and you've just woken up. You're brewing some fresh coffee, right?
Now you're setting the stage.
That's right. You're hungry, and you got the time. You've got the 20 minutes necessary to make yourself a meal. You got the bagels. You got the eggs.
Right.
You got your greens. You got your avocado. You've got your sriracha. You got your salt and pepper. And you make this meal, and it just sets your whole day. It sets you up for success. What is the most important meal of the day?
That's arguable.
I disagree. I think there's a clear answer.
Mine is lunch. If I it's that midday mark. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not usually really hungry. So lunch is like my first. In the morning, maybe I'll have a smoothie, some tea, something like that. And then lunch, which is what I'm making now, is my favorite.
Okay. That's
all right.
fair.
So really quick, for anyone who's following along, we're about to go in the oven. So here is some cut bell peppers, asparagus, and then on top of the, why does it keep doing this? On top of the salmon, there is a mix of green onions, white onions, and peeled garlic. I just kind of blended it. And then right now, this is melted butter. I said butter, butter with oregano, parsley, thyme, and basil. And so you can't really see in there, but I'm going to just pour it on. And it makes like a butter sauce. And then you just pour it on top of pretty much everything because I like that. It makes it cook better too. And hopefully you've been heating your oven. So then now that is done. The only thing that I also do for my asparagus to me is a little bitter to the taste. So I and I didn't put this on my ingredients list. So if you're following along, I'm sorry, but hopefully you have honey at your house. You just get a drizzle of it and line the stack of asparagus. All right, so I'm actually going to take a picture of this. I think it looks so great. Before putting it in, and then Cameron's already done, so then we can just.
I am already done. You wanna? Do you want to open this up for some camera-related questions?
Yes, I do. So, in the Office of Student Life, Oh, this looks beautiful. I wish you guys could truly see how amazing this is. Okay, so this is what it kind of looks like. And I'm going to put it in the oven now. We're going to check on it. Oh, okay. I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes.
Let me see if I can't figure out Instagram live in the meantime.
Okay. I turned the live off, so I'm going to turn it back on now.
Okay.
Dinner has become sacred, a moment to settle down and unwind.
Yeah.
It's a cathartic meal these days. That's absolutely true. I'm going to see if I can log on to. So while we have you guys here in the Office of Student Life, we really spent, I would say, this last month in the Office of Student Life, really just thinking about what it means to really live by our mission statement. And so the part of the mission statement that always really gets me and gets a lot of people is, what does it mean to like be a whole person? So helping students as whole persons. And so we were in the office, and we were, well, not in the office, of course, we were on Zoom, the Zoom office, and really thinking about how do we do that in our 4 areas, in our 4 buckets. And we found that it was harder to describe than we thought. So I would say we've had a lot of think tank conversations. And so we'd love to hear from you all. You can put it in the chat. The first question, while the meal is cooking. Oh, I didn't put up the time to cook banner. Oh, well, there was a banner that said time to cook. So the first question, Cameron, what does it mean to be a whole person, specifically as a student?
Yeah.
And a tutor. He's also a tutor.
Yeah. So what does it mean for me to be a whole person as a student and as a tutor?
Oh, no. I was just saying that you're a tutor.
Yeah.
Just a shameless plug. You can go ahead. Yeah.
What do you, I don't mind responding first, but do you have anything that immediately comes to mind?
The word that I've been trying to achieve, honestly, since first year is balance.
Yeah.
So to be a whole person is to balance all of the areas, not of your life, but of your life, but then also of your personhood. So making sure that you're taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, not just making sure that classes are the only things that you take care of. Now that's hard to say, especially in a grad program. You know, you want to make sure you're doing well. You want to make sure, especially if you want to go on to doctoral programs, you know, you need to have a certain, oh, it did it again. Sorry, my earphones will just unplug for a second. You have to meet certain requirements. And so that brings on a lot of pressure. So you think that your personal requirements of who you are suddenly at that moment are not the most important thing. So balance is my initial word, I would say.
That's good. That's good. Speaking of balance, let's look at the balance of this egg yolk, because I do think it's going to be pretty good.
Okay.
I've been perfecting this recipe for years, and by this recipe I mean frying an egg. So I want y'all to see. Hopefully, you'll be able to see well enough that when I cut into this egg, the yolk is just going to be like perfect. I'm gonna pull it up first, and I'm gonna look at it, and then I'm gonna show you if it is. The yolk is just going to be like perfect.
Ooh, I can't do that. Oh, Jazzy was the one who said it looks a little burnt.
I also saw, oh yeah, dude. Now.
Wait, we can't see.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
So it's not as perfect as I would have anticipated. It's a little overcooked, but it's still pretty good. I don't know.
Yes, that looks great.
Yeah. And you see how like orange that yolk is?
Right.
That's because of the farm freshness of the eggs. Like you're not going to get that.
Oh, your neighbor.
That's right. These are from my neighbor who keeps hens in his backyard. But really cool. In response to the question, I'm taking Howard Thurman with Dr. Fluker this semester. And this concept of wholeness is a theme that Thurman lingers on a lot throughout his career. And so right now, because I'm taking this class and because I'm loving it, When I think about wholeness, I think about some of the stuff that Thurman has to say. And I think maybe the easiest way to sum it up would be this sense that Thurman has that community, human community, and human relationship to creation itself is salvation. So harmony is salvation, and integration is salvation, and community is salvation. And wholeness in community is dependent upon the individual's awareness that they are a beloved child of God, is what Thurman would say.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So how do we get to this place of community? The individual has to do some work, and there's obviously a porous border between an individual and the community. Like, they influence each other. But the individual has to do the work of, how do I come to love myself as I am right now? From the acknowledgement, like, how do I accept the acceptance of myself by God? Does that make sense? How do I accept the acceptance of myself? And
yeah, I think a part of that is loving yourself and accepting yourself even when others don't.
Yep.
Because I know a lot of times in community, we're looking for the affirmation of those around us. Yep. And so what happens if you're in a space where no one is affirming you?
Yep.
So
that's really good. Yeah. Thurman says that when an individual is starved of community, you can literally see that person just begin to decline, meaning we need each other. So this pandemic has been incredibly difficult for everybody, because not only is grad school hard, but we need each other in order to be whole persons, right?
Yeah, that's really something that, so I'm taking Bo Adams's course.
Yeah.
Called Hacking Ministry, Church in the Digital Age. I think I botched the name just a little bit. I apologize. But a conversation that we were having, he had us do a reading. And in the reading, it was saying that with social media, we're not addicted to social media. We're addicted to one another. Mm-hmm. So when you go on and you're looking and you're doing all of these things, it's not necessarily, because you just love the screen so much. It's like you love seeing, checking in, and knowing what other people are doing, and sometimes other people knowing what you're doing. So just to go to a question that was put in the chat, what if I'm a student and I don't have time in my week to cook? What advice would you give for eating a healthy meal?
Yeah. My response would be being in time, particularly for the grad student. Being in time, present to time, without worrying about the future, is incredibly difficult, and it takes a lot of work. And in fact, I would say that it is the work of a lifetime. How to be present to like what's going on right now, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's easy to say we have to learn how to prioritize our health. And our health is not just physical, it's mental and it's spiritual. But when we think about our time and the way that we spend our time, we have to begin to ask ourselves, at least I have to ask me, what do I value? And how is what I am spending my time revealing about what I value? So this doesn't mean like get down on yourself because you don't have time to make a meal, because I often don't have time to make a meal. But when it is time to slow down and be present, even in the midst of the absurdity of life that never slows down, I think it's important. It could be a spiritual practice to seize that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Cristha?
So this question was it was a really good question. I remember my first year and a half at Candler, I was managing working while going to school, but working 2 jobs at one time. So I would work, especially over the summer, between my 2 jobs, like with literally only like an hour, like to travel across the city, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Saturday. And then Sunday I was serving at church. So only my evenings were free. And so I was realizing I was spending a lot of money because I would just buy food randomly on the go. And then I realized how much I missed like a home cooked meal. So that question that you asked about like what is important and how to live in time was something that I really had to start thinking about and actively doing. So what I would do on Sundays was I'd make a budget, not like make a budget, like sit down and write things out, but like, okay, I'm not spending more than $60 to the grocery store, as an example. Feeding myself one person, like $60 was very doable, especially for the things that I wanted to buy. And so I would then put 3 or 4 things and like season it. So if I knew I wanted to eat chicken that week, I would season like 3 or 4 chicken breasts and just leave them in the fridge or the freezer or something like that. And then when I got home, all I would have to do is just put it in the oven. So the reason why I even know how to make this salmon dish I just made that just goes in the oven, you don't have to spend a lot of time cooking it. Like literally the prep work takes maybe 10 minutes. You put it in. I would use that time to like either read, take a shower, do something else. Well, not necessarily take a shower while something is in the oven. That's not really safe. But I would say if you don't have time in the week to cook, figure out how you can maybe make smaller pockets of time during the weekend to prep stuff. And then also think about what is actually necessary, because in the grand scheme of things, at the time I did have to work as hard as I was working, especially with my financial demands. But sometimes we put the pressure on ourselves and it's not a requirement. Like sometimes we can scale back and not be a part of everything and not do everything and not be everyone's savior and sometimes we just have to say no and say yes to ourselves. Because I know personally, I was putting the needs of every person, education, ministry, friends, relationship, like everything was more important. And then I realized my social battery and everything else was so low because I spent so much more time feeding into that than to myself.
Yeah. And Cristha, just quickly off of what you were saying, it reminds me that rest is a privilege. Rest is also resistance. And no matter, like, we hear constantly, particularly in our first year, that it is important for the student to take care of themselves. And then the semester gets going and it becomes obvious that like the ability to take care of oneself is a skill and a habit. And it's hard. It's so hard, particularly when you feel like the sense of impending doom that I feel when like assignments are right around the corner. But back to the wholeness question, what is it that defines me? Is the A what defines me, or is like my definition, my unique definition as a beloved child of God? Is that what defines me? So again, like rest as resistance, making meals as resistance. I think that thinking about it in that way helps me out.
Yeah, that's good. Someone commented and just said, really miss the lunch collaborations in Candler Atrium or at the Emory cafeteria. The student sharing and discussion filled the social gap and helped. How do we lessen this time apart? So for us, I think it's having even moments like this while we can't physically be together. Like the conversation that Cameron and I are having now is what we would have like at Cox or in the atrium. Sometimes you just finished a class and it was a really hard day or something and you just go outside, or it was a really hard exam and everybody walks out together and they're just like, who? And then you have that moment and you get to move on from it. So I would say it's trying to create spaces virtually where you can have the same like kinds of conversations. In one of my J-term courses, something the professor did that I thought was really great, he made you pick 1 week on a Friday at like 5, and he would just sit, like he was in this chair, just like regular chair. He would just sit, and it was you and whoever called in that day, and you were not allowed to discuss class. It was not about questions. It was not about anything like that. You just talked about how your day was, or what you're looking forward to for the semester, or your favorite professor, what you're reading at the moment, just things like that. And so that was the first time I felt like I had a conversation like what I used to have in the atrium or at Cox. So but then I also have to accept the fact that there are certain gaps that cannot be completely filled virtually. I don't know if that's completely possible. I think you look like you're really enjoying your meal over there.
It's delicious. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
I have 30 more seconds, and then mine's
Okay.
going to be out the oven.
Was the professor Ted Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think so. While you prepare to go get your meal out of the oven.
Okay, great. I'm going to get up.
Yeah. When I think about, so I'm in my final year of seminary, and so I have those memories of being at Candler and being in the atrium and the hustle and bustle of Tuesdays and Thursdays when everybody's on campus. And it just made everything a little bit more manageable, I think. And it's easy for me to forget how being on campus and around other students and like running from one class to another and then quickly taking lunch and going to get a coffee and sitting outside underneath like the Japanese blossom trees that are blooming right now on campus. It just everything was embodied. And our embodiment, which, meals remind us of, is like important. It's not to be neglected. And there's definitely something that is neglected in our existential embodiment when our community is confined to the frame of a screen, right? And here's another thing from Howard Thurman. I'm on a real Howard Thurman kick.
That's fine.
Howard Thurman believes that suffering, such as the suffering that we're experiencing individually and communally in our year spent in social isolation and distance, Howard Thurman believes that can be an upender. And by that, Thurman means that when we experience suffering isn't always meaningful, but it can inspire movements that give birth to new life. So the darkness that we're experiencing at Candler, which is the darkness of not being able to be with one another, might be the darkness of the womb instead of the darkness of the tomb, which is something that Valerie Carr says. She's a poet and a theologian. I think that when I think about it in that way, that we are giving birth to new realities in our time. And not only that, how much more we're looking forward to being with one another, how much more we value being with one another, how much more we recognize the importance of being with one another. Maybe that might inspire wholeness and integration and community in a way that just wasn't available before all of this happened. Yeah. But to the first year students who haven't had the opportunity, like second year students and third year students have had, to be with one another physically on campus, I just hope that you know that it's not always going to be this way, and your Candler experience is going to improve. Like, it is better to be on campus, and that I hope, I pray we're rounding the corner. We're almost there. Like, just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Well, on the coattails of that amazing close, look at do you see the steam?
Wow.
Do you see the steam coming out of it? Ha, ha, ha. So this was white rice. I'm trying to figure out how to angle to show the people. Can you see it?
It's kind of tough without it like sliding off the plate.
Yeah. Oh, my little brother's trying to help me. Oh, you're so smart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks great, Crista.
Thank you so much. So if you're watching, this is supposed to be a challenge. It's really just for fun. But you can pick Cameron's meat. Okay, we're both going to put our cameras down.
Mine looks kind of messy, but it's delicious. I've also been eating it, so I'm going to show the one that I haven't been eating.
There you go.
There it is.
So these are our finished meals.
Yep. There's definitely an elegance to Crista's. I would say that my meal is the meal of the proletariat.
So I haven't actually tasted it yet, but this meal I make about once every couple of weeks. It's really easy, and all of the ingredients cost me only $13 altogether from Kroger. So,
Mm-hmm.
This is great. This is great. I'm proud of myself. Well,
I wish I could try it. It looks delicious.
I know. Not I know that it looks delicious. I mean, I wish you could try it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really just wanted to have this live event, just something fun in between the rush of midterms. I hope that everything that we've really shared today has been helpful for you or just humorous, just something funny. Cameron, what was the best part of this last almost hour for you?
I think hanging out with you, Cristha, you're a rock star.
Mm.
You bring, I'm not just saying this, but from working with you, the gifts that you bring to community, I'm grateful for them. And I'm grateful for the way that you lead our community.
I probably shouldn't have put so much sand in my mouth. I didn't think it would be that quick. No, thank you. Thank you so much. When I was originally, tasked with doing this, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like, I did not know what would be. And I was like, what makes you calm? And I was like, oh, cooking. And so Cameron is the life of the party at all times. I think someone even called him an influencer in the comments. You definitely are. And I hope that for those who are virtual or haven't even had an opportunity to come to campus yet, you've been able to start building relationships even virtually with your classmates, because they will be your future colleagues, after graduation. For some of us, and someone said this to me first year, and I was like, everyone says that. But as a third year who's graduating, they say it goes by really quickly, and it does.
It does.
It feels slow at certain parts, and it's just like, oh my gosh, am I going to make it? But then we have less than 2 months, and then it's almost over, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Before we close, I just want to let you guys know about some upcoming events for the OSL that is happening. OSL means Office of Student Life. I know you guys know that, but figured I'd just say it again. Right after this, right at 2:00, we have Racial Healing Circles with Jazzy Johnson, who also works in the Office of Student Life. If you need the link or the information, click on the newsletter. If you guys aren't viewing the newsletter, it comes to your emails every single week from Quentin. So that's where the information will be. And then starting next Wednesday, Sarah Carlson, who's our Director of Career Services, is having a series called Real. I always say real like Real World Jobs Search Series. And this first one is called Possibilities in a Pandemic. And these are just great because for a lot of us, we're thinking about what does it mean to engage in the workforce. Now being virtual, a lot of churches are also not hiring in the way that they once were because we are closed. And so I think she's created a dynamic opportunity for students to really get to learn more from her. So Sarah Carlson. And then the last thing, next Friday, I think at 2:00, you can check the newsletter on Monday for more info. Alex Ravel will be having Uno Mania, and it's supposed to be like a rendition almost of like dodgeball. Cameron actually played the dodgeball event. I didn't, so.
And guess what?
What?
We won.
I'm sure
I'm
you
not
did.
going to say it was only because of me, but I'm also not saying that.
You are saying that, but you're not, but you are.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Got it. That's fair. That's fair. We'll let you have that. That's fun. All right. So I think this has been the close, really. I can't say welcome, well, goodbye, but this has been Chef Candler. We may do something like this again. If you do want to make this recipe, this video is going to stay up. It's also on Facebook, or you can email me. My email is, I probably should have, can I type something? Oh, I can make one. I'm typing my email and I can send you this recipe. I found it a couple of years ago, and then I just started making my own after realizing, oh, I didn't put it up. There it is. So you can email myself or Cameron if you guys have any questions or concerns. And we hope that you guys are having an awesome, awesome Friday. And relax, get some rest.
Yeah.
Rest is a privilege that you all should definitely take part in. So, all right. Any last words, Cameron?
Yeah, take courage, folks. We're almost there. One foot in front of the other.
All right. Bye.
Bye.